Hi, I'm Tiffany Coral. This is my Module 1 for EDL 854, Communicating Who We Are. My personal demographics: I am 26 years old. I am not from Kansas. I am actually from Bedford, Pennsylvania. It's a small rural community. I am married. I have a 7-month-old son. His name's Easton, and we also have a fur baby, Finley. They both bring me and my husband so much joy. Some things that we enjoy doing are going to the beach. Easton's first trip will actually be to the beach this summer, which I'm excited and looking forward to. We also enjoy country music and exploring the outdoors. Here in Pennsylvania, it is still decently cold. We're in the 30s and 40s right now, but here in the next month or two, it should be getting nice, and I look forward to going outside more often. My work background: I work at Chestnut Ridge Middle School. It's on the smaller side. It's not a large school district. We have approximately 100 students per grade level. I do teach fourth grade. I teach math, science, and social studies. Before that, I taught alternative education for the school district. And prior to that, I was the after school site director. That was my first position that really got me thinking about administration. I had a lot of administrative roles while working for the after school program. I was in charge of staffing, I was in charge of transportation, and a lot of grants and paperwork went into that. So that was my first real thoughts as to administration. Altogether, I have 5 years of experience with education, and I know that's not a lot compared to some that are in this program, but I'm motivated and I am ready to gain that master's degree so I can continue to get more experience. So when I am ready, that I am very appealing to school districts within the area. Some of the other reasons that I chose administration: I want to be able to make that larger impact on our community, and I think you can do that through an administrative role. Being able to help teachers and students reach their maximum potential, as well as getting to know as much as I can about the Pennsylvania education system. It's very complex, and to be able to answer a lot of the why questions, and ultimately for my son and family as well. 10 important facts that I gained from the articles given in Module 1. There's typically two different ways that finances are managed at a school district. There is the central office management system. Basically, that's allocates to schools, the elementary, middle, high school, however school's broken up, an allotment of money, and they tell you how it should be used. Another way is site or school-based management, which it seems through the articles that I've been reading that that is more of the transition or new way that school districts are going to, and that gives the principal more power and they're in charge of a lot of the finances. Some key terms that were mentioned were gross profit margin, and that is basically money left over from revenues; net profit, which is your income that your school has; and net profit margin, which is how much sales each dollar of profit generates. Continuing, your school district should have an accounting tool that helps them with reporting and data. As you can see, there's many different ones that were mentioned. They all have their pros and cons, so whatever is best for your school district. A statistic that I found that I was not aware of is that 92% of all educational spending is from state legislation and district officials. So they have great power over how you use your money, and that can also really, it can impact your students and staff, and can really change the education that they're receiving. And another term which was new to me was principal empowerment account, basically have an allotment per student as to spending. So if there's a certain amount that could be spent on supplies or maybe iPad, Chromebook, however you would disperse that per student or pupil. Continuing, another new term was educational savings account. Some school districts actually give a debit card to guardians to use on school expenses. This is something new. I've never heard of this before. We do not use this currently at any schools that I know of in Pennsylvania, but it's a new thought to definitely think about. And lastly, using your collective bargaining agreement. Our teacher contracts are actually up this year and we'll be renewing those. But you can make in those agreements with your school board and superintendent any changes that you would like to see as far as financing and budgeting goes. So if you would like to see your school district maybe get a certain curriculum or textbook for the students that you'd see make a difference, that's something that you could maybe include in that to see that financial change or gain for you as a teacher and for your students. Some of the current district policies that we do have, I feel like we have a combination of both management systems. Our central office is in charge of our curriculum director. He's in charge of the textbooks and the curriculum that the school buys for different grade levels. But at the same time, our principal, he has the grade level allotments and he reaches out and lets us know. So per classroom at the beginning of the year, we each have a stipend of $500. As the teacher, we can spend that money however we want to and however we see fit. And then we also have a grade level allotment as well as a STEM allotment. Since I teach science, I have a specific allotment for that STEM. I can choose to use that however I want. Now, if I would like guidance from our curriculum director, I can do that. But if I have something in mind that I want to use that money on per pupil, that's there as well. So it's kind of a mix, I'd say, between both, the way that the money trickles down. Now, with the allotment that we are given, we have to fill out a form that now, since we have Amazon Business, it's mostly through Amazon Business, and then that gets approved by our principal, and then it's approved again by the central office, and then eventually it goes to the school board. I at least have never ran into that it's not approved, but I guess in the long run, you can say the central office still has that power or control of the overall finance. The business tool or financial tool that we use is through Tyler Business Solutions. So it was not mentioned in any of the articles, but that's what our accounting team uses. And like I mentioned before, we do use Amazon Business. It's a great tool. It's online. We get a lot of our stipend tools that we use and supplies through Amazon Business. Another tool we use is called Kurt Supply. That is not particularly online, but that is more of paper. We fill out forms and then the school bargains with that company as far as pricing goes. And like I said, we do have an allotment per grade level and classroom as well as STEM. And then if you would have a club or something, that's something that you would have to work out with the central office as far as budgeting goes. As a future school leader, some concerns I have is the comparison between how you're spending to the state and national average and how your teachers and board are going to feel about any financial decisions that you make if you're trying to change things that maybe aren't the best that they can be. That criticism is always a big concern as a new administrator. Some of the financial reporting, it sounds like it's very time consuming and sometimes challenging. So really being able to get my hands on at looking at that and being able to see what that's like because I don't have any experience with that. And then also the continued salary and wage increase. That's something that your teachers are always looking for, but making sure that you're making the right decisions, not only for your teachers, but the rest of the school district and students as well. And lastly, my works cited. Thank you, and I look forward to getting to work with you.